let's get into a little bit of terminology. You got animism. Animism is pretty much attributing lifelike qualities to inanimate objects. Centering. Centering is concentrating on a single aspect of an object. Artificialism. Artificialism is a belief that everything is created by people. Egocentrism, which is views everything in reference to self. Concrete operations. This is logical thinking and understanding cause and effect. Self-concept. This is one's view of oneself. Personality. This is enduring patterns of perceiving, relating to, and thinking about environment and one's self. Id. The id is serves to satisfy needs and achieve immediate gratification. Ego. This is composed of the ego and the conscious. Yeah, composed of the ego and the conscious. The reality principle. Oh, all right. The way that is actually read is composed to the ego and the conscious is the reality principle. Superego. The superego is the rational part of personality and works to keep harmony with the outside world. And lastly, we have temperament. Your temperament is an inborn characteristics that influence personality along with the environment. Some of the following vital signs for preschool children. So for pulse, the ranges are 80 to 120. For respirations, it is 20 to 25. For blood pressure, it is 85 to 90 over 60. So as you see, like the ranges for children are a lot different from the ranges for adults. Piaget's phase of cognitive development for the preschool age is the pre-operational stage. Some characteristics of the pre-operational thinking, which is some of the things I was talking about earlier with Piaget's theory, is language, symbolic function, egocentric thinking, and animism. How many words are expected to be in a preschool child's sentences? Well, the sentences, like with children development, by one, they should be saying at least like one-word things. By two, they should be saying two-word sentences. And at least by three, they should be saying some three-word sentences, like dad go by, or mom got here, or just whatever. You know, kids just blurt out different things that they hear us adults say and stuff like that. So a time out for a 3-year-old child should last 3 minutes. When you are disciplining children of that age, you want to think of timeouts as 1 minute per age that they are. Define enuresis and describe two types, primary and secondary. So primary enuresis is bedwetting, and primary child enuresis is when the child has never been dry. This means that the child has always wet the bed. That is primary enuresis. Secondary enuresis is the recurrence of bedwetting after the first year. And this pretty much means like, the child experienced some bedwetting and then they stop and now it is recurring again. That is secondary enuresis. Preschool children cannot fully understand cause and effect, and they may perceive illness and hospitalizations as punishment for past behavior. Pertaining to the expected characteristics of a 4-year-old child. A 4-year-old can use scissors with success. They prefer simple toys, and they play with the friends of the same sex. Pertaining to the expectation characteristics of a 5-year-old child. At 5, children are more responsible and have more patience. Height increase about 2 to 3 inches and weight increases about 3 to 6 pounds. They may begin losing primary teeth. Thumb sucking should not have a negative effect on a child's teeth if the habit discontinues before permanent teeth erupt. A preschool child falls off the swing and cries, "Bad swing, you made me fall." This child response is an example of animism. I keep saying animism, it's animism. It's pretty much inanimate objects having some type of real meaning and stuff like that. Let me read it again. Animism, attributing lifelike qualities to inanimate objects. So yeah, swing go by, or swing you bad, made me fall. That is animism. The airplane takes me to grandmom's house is an example of egocentric. Erickson believed that the critical development task for the preschool children period is to achieve a sense of initiative, pertaining to the expected characteristics of a 6-year-old child. Their attention span is brief. Loss of deciduous teeth occurs, along with the eruption of permanent teeth. They need 11 to 13 hours of sleep per night. Wow. Greater exposure to infection occurs with entrance to school. Pertaining to the expected characteristics of an 8-year-old child, they prefer friends of the same sex. They enjoy what type of sports or games? Competitive. Enjoys type of sports or games that are competitive. Okay, that actually sentence wasn't read right. What enjoys what type of sports or games? Okay, it's supposed to have a question mark, but it doesn't. But they enjoy competitive games. According to Erickson, the school age period is referred to as the stage of industry versus inferiority. A 9-year-old child should have 10 hours of sleep per night. Pertaining to the expected characteristics of a 10-year-old, they strive for independence, but will take suggestions. Ideas in group/peers are more important than those of the individuals. Takes greater interest in his or her appearance. Those are all of the characteristics of a 10-year-old. An 11 to 12-year-old pre-adolescent should have 24 to 26 permanent teeth. A pre-adolescent female should be provided with supplies for menstruation periods. Okay. A pre-adolescent female child should be provided with supplies for menstruation before her first period. The first menstrual period is referred to as a menarche. The female sex hormones are referred to as estrogen. The male sex hormones are referred to as androgens. Adolescence begins with the appearance of secondary sex characteristics and ends with physical and emotional maturity. Boys begin sperm production at 13 years of age. According to Erickson, the major psychological task of an adolescent is to develop what? An identity. You are observing a group of adolescents. Identify examples of behaviors in this group that would demonstrate the following expected events. An effort to develop an identity. And they do this by developing cliques. They do this through their best friends. They have similar interests, similar values, similar tastes. They kind of follow behind each other, and these are all in effort to develop a sense of identity. They are more preoccupied with themselves. They have increased time spent in isolation. They are highly preoccupied with their appearance. And these are all in efforts to develop an identity. The development of increased responsibility. And this is learning from their mistakes, completing chores and completing homework, and attention to diet and exercise and making their ADLs more important. Some patient and family teaching. So, you are a school nurse and your assessment reveals that a 10-year-old Lisa has pediculosis. I always f that word up. 10-year-old Lisa has pediculosis, which is an infestation of lice on the human head. You need to call Lisa's parents so they can pick her up. You will need to prepare a plan for educating Lisa and her parents about pediculosis, including the following points. Explain what pediculosis is in terms of Lisa and that her parents can understand. Pediculosis is pretty much head lice. Simple as that. Pediculosis is head lice. Where does pediculosis come from and how does it spread? It spreads as a contaminated person and from children to children. It jump from your head and jump to the other jump to the other head, and that's why it's pretty much common in school children, because when a school child has headlights, they go to school, and if they don't know it, the lights end up jumping from this head to the next head, literally. Headlights look like small white flakes along the shaft of the hair. You can literally see what the headlights look like. You treat the condition with a product containing pyrethrin, and then you pretty much comb them out. Pyrethrin is swell. That's what my professor said. I got it in quotation marks right here, swell. What ingredients should you advise Lisa parents to look for when purchasing an over-the-counter product to treat this condition? They should have pyrethrin and benzoyl alcohol. What advice do you give Lisa and her parents to prevent recurrence? Retreat in 7 to 10 days. Inspect the child's scalp often. Caution against sharing hair products. Don't share no combs, don't share no hair caps, don't share particular hair products. Keep the hair products particular to the headlights child or the headlights person who has the headlights. Shouldn't be sharing hair products. And pain assessment in children. Last slide. Pain assessment in children. At what age can children typically begin to use a numeric pain scale from 0 to 10? At about 9 years old. That's when a child can pretty much use a pain scale from a 0 to 10. Children as young as 3 can be expected to report a location, a degree in pain. I actually did not write the answer down to that one, but children report like stomach pain, they report teeth pain, tired, all kinds of stuff at 3. The FACES acronym, which is a pain rating scale, can be used in children beginning in what group age? This is the preschool age from 3 to 5. And what does the FLAC scale stands for, which is the acronym for face, legs, activity, cry, and consolability. Describe what you see in a nonverbal child who experiences severe pain using the FLAC scale. That actually was a very long answer that I took a picture of that I am not about to give right now. Untreated and undetected pain in the pediatric client may lead to complications to things such as delayed recovery, alterations in sleep patterns, and alterations in nutrition. Some examples for non-pharmacological interventions for pain for each age group. For infants, you can use some pacifiers, you can hold the infant, you can rock them, swaddle them. For toddlers and preschoolers, distractions such as books, music, TV, bubbles, screen time with a phone. And for school age and older, guided imagery, massage, heat and cold application. Children as young as 5 may be taught to use a patient-controlled analgesia pump, which is a PCA. So, those were pretty much all of the things that we were discussing in today's Pediatrics Clinical, and some of the things that we were using to study for our exam that we have coming up on Tuesday. I will, in addition, do a lot more reading to the chapters that we had to go over for the test so that I can have a more in-depth quality of my understanding of these chapters and understanding of these theories, and so that I can memorize the developmental theories. So I will also probably watch this video back so I can memorize these theories, because I read them out while I go watch somebody else when I can listen to myself and study with that. That's the whole point of this. So I'll be back probably tomorrow when I have some more studies, and I'm probably going to be going over the pediatric stuff in my next couple videos because I have a pediatric exam coming up on Tuesday. I also have a community exam coming up on the same day. I got to study for this community class as well. In addition to this pediatric stuff, I will be coming up here and discussing what it is to be a community nurse and some of the things that we are going over in my community class as well. I am looking forward to it because this was fun. And yeah, until next time, I will be back. Everybody enjoy their day. Like and subscribe. Follow me on all my social medias. Nurse Gene, Justgene, Steven, Justgene on Instagram and all this stuff. I got it. I'll link it all up in the descriptions and things like that. But yes, everybody had a great day, and I will talk to you guys next time.